All right, the next phase in the PDSA is the study. The S in the PDSA stands for study. So we've had our plan of what we're going to do. You have your do of the executing the plan, and then you're going to have the study part. The study is very straightforward, very simple, and pretty self-explanatory. What are you going to study? Okay, that's a good question. What you're going to study, you're going to compile the data from the assessments of the plan and the do strategies. That's what you're going to study. You're going to have your assessments, you're going to have class assignments, you're going to have any kind of formative assessment, and you're going to take and compile that data, and you're going to ask yourself a question. How are we doing at this point? There's a lot of things that people have in the PDSA. I know on my PDSAs, I have, are we proficient or are we not proficient in that skill? Now, sometimes it's not as clear cut as that. Sometimes you want to know, did we improve? So you might not be proficient. That's a negative aspect of it, but put a positive spin on it saying, well, we're better than we were. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about, is continuous improvement. And that's what you want to continue to do in the PDSA plan or the PDSA process, is to be a continuous improvement model. So when you ask how are we doing, you can ask yourself a couple different questions. Are we on target? Are we off target? Are we above target? Or are we proficient? Or are we not? So like I said, you might have the class average might be a little low below the target. It might be a little above the target. If it's above the target, then you can adjust your plan in the next cycle. That's the beautiful part about PDSA. You can always change up your plan in the next cycle to adjust to how your students are doing or any organization doing in that process. Ways to study. You can do a couple different things. Now, there are thousands of ways you could try to assess how you're doing or what you want to study. But in the classroom level, you want to do an item analysis. Usually on your quizzes, your assessments, or anything that you have, if you tag them to certain objectives or skills that you are trying to accomplish, you want to take and do an analysis. That item analysis will give you a snapshot of how your class is doing on that specific objective. Or you can go more global, percentage that are proficient in some skill. When I say global, more overall picture. Okay. Or you can use the basic assessment scores. Now, when you use the assessment scores, just beware that it is giving you a big picture. But if you want to dig deeper into that data, the best thing to do is the very first one, which is an item analysis. That's going to give you a more specific picture and you more detailed description of what you need to work on in your next process in the PDSA cycle. The next will be the ACT.